I have here special advisor for NuLegacy Gold, Quinton Hennigh. Hi, Quinton, welcome.
How are you, Chen?
Hi, the NuLegacy has been here for a while. I've been with there for many years, and every time I talk to the management, also talk to their large shareholder, which is Oceana Gold, they always seems to have something going on. There's something, but during the past few years, they don't have some spectacular. They have some result, but not very spectacular. So what attracts you so much that make you jump in to help them? Or what's the story? Can you tell us?
Sure, that's an easy question to answer. I used to work for a major mining company centered in Nevada, okay, Newmont, and I had the great opportunity to do some really basic research work in the Great Basin, looking at how the whole area has been pulled apart. So the basin has been extended. Basically, that piece of crust pulled apart by tectonic processes over the past, say, 30-odd million years. And in particular, in the last, say, 15 million years, that accordion effect, like where everything's been stretched apart, has been particularly pronounced to the point where it's broken everything up like in the jigsaw puzzle, okay? And this is back about 15 years ago. I was able to take a lot of in-house data from in the Newmont camp and put together the jigsaw puzzle. I basically did a reconstruction of the basin, the Great Basin, and in that process, I identified certain areas where how a jigsaw puzzle works, right? You have a little piece with a little red dot on it, and you're looking around the board for where that little red piece fits, right? Well, I identified quite a few pieces of the jigsaw puzzle that I felt had very good exploration potential, like were basically broken parts of existing mineral belts. Okay, now this Red Hill project that NuLegacy has is actually like the #1 target I developed out of that. At the time, look, that ground belonged to Barrick. Okay, so when I was at Newmont, this whole area was Barrick, everything. Right? So it wasn't it wasn't accessible to Newmont to explore. It was a high priority target, but it's obvious couldn't do anything. Anyway, so fast forward. Let's see. I think it was in 2011 or 12. I can't remember. I get this call one day from James Anderson, the fellow who was CEO at the time.
I remember him.
And James was like, "Hey, would you want to come out and look at the project we have?" And I'm like, "Well, where is it?" He sends me a map, and I'm like, "Holy smokes, that's one of my favorite targets in Nevada." If not my favorite target. I didn't tell him my favorite, but I told him one of my favorites. Anyway, we hopped in the car. We went out there. I think it was 2012. I think it was July 2012. And we're driving into the property, and I'm, this is the first time I could even go on the property because it was Barrick ground prior. So I was pursuing Grata out there. But I'm looking at the geology, and I'm thinking, well, we're a bit high on the shelf. Geologically, we're a little bit high in the stratigraphy. We're not quite in the sweet spot because I'm seeing a lot of blocky carbonate rocks. But as we keep driving across the property, we're from the east to the west across the property. I started to see some more platy rocks, the ones that are more suited for hosting Carlin deposits. All right, so I thought, my gosh, these guys are right on the precipice of the old paleo shelf here. What does that mean to everyone? Well, it means basically, you're starting to see telltale signs that the rock you need to host a big gold deposit is actually present.
Oh.
All right, so at the time, look, they were focused on drilling the what do they call them, the iceberg and the Serenas.
Yeah, to the east, yes.
And they were getting some decent results, but it was more, I would call it smoke. Okay, interesting, but not quite there. And the thickness of the platy rocks is pretty thin back there. It's like a few meters, maybe 10 meters thick or something like that. Okay, so for years, I actually bought shares. I mean, I was one of the initial shareholders of NuLegacy. And for years, I kept, trying to urge them to go further west. Like if you go further west, you should get you should see the thickness of the
Yeah.
platy rock start to increase, because that's what you see just north of Gold Rush. Gold Rush is like a 15 million ounce deposit, and you can see they have something like 60, 70 meters of platy rock up there to work with. All right, so anyway, fast forwarded, like the company had to go through some hoops and hurdles. Okay, there's more to the story. They were basically in an earn-in position with Barrick. They were earning into this project, and Barrick always had this clawback right. Okay, so I actually I think I told Jim or Albert, I can't remember. I said, you guys ought to, spend the money you need to earn in, okay, and trigger that clawback, and then Barrick will have to scramble to decide if they want to claw back. I said, but I'll tell you what, if you have to spend that money and not find a darn thing, you should do it, because like basically go out there and spend a bunch of money. And then Barrick, is like, well, should we claw back? Well, I don't see any discovery here, so no, we don't. Guess what? Barrick didn't claw back.
Oh.
Woohoo!
Oh,
That was a big
was
win.
it? When was the deadline for clawback?
What's that?
When was the deadline for Barrick to claw back?
Oh my gosh, that's ancient history. I can't remember exactly. I think it was
That's fine.
2013,
But they
2014.
missed that. So they lost the rights, right? So no more.
Yeah, but it was a great result, because Barrick actually came in as a shareholder. They instead of clawing back, they agreed to convert to shares. Big win. Okay, no problem. So Barrick definitely is has an interest in this ground, but they don't have the rights to claw back now. Okay, that's a huge win. In fact, now NuLegacy has the darn thing 100%. Okay, so people say, well, why on earth is their share count so high? Well, a lot of it actually relates to what was happening back then. To complete that earn, and they had to issue a lot of shares at cheap cost, and then they had to then they gave the shares to Barrick as well. But by gummy, got the goods. Okay, so they got the property locked up, and that's a huge win. So I was very pleased to see that. And then we were in the middle of the dark days of gold mining. Okay, so from 2014 to 2017 or 18, there it was pretty grim, right? They did money, they drilled a few holes, and they had some nice intercepts. They had like, I can't remember the numbers right off the top of my head, but like 9 meters at 16 grams or something like that. Some very nice. And not only that, they were starting to see a thicker section as they go westward. I was like, this looks good. So when Albert called me in March and asked, he said, oh, can you do anything? I said, well, give me a while to catch up. I took a few weeks to catch up. I bought a bunch of shares, by the way.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, gold doesn't walk away. It's still there.
Exactly.
Anyway, COVID was on us, so I bought some shares. I was like, oh, they're 3 cents. I think I'll buy some. And I bought a heap. Anyway, I then talked to their technical team. I talked to Mark Bradley, ex-Barrick brought in. Mark knows what he's done. Charles Weekly knows what he's done. All these guys, Ed Cope, they all know what they're doing. So it was like an easy one, like, okay, we're all on the same page. The Rift Anticline target is the big prize here. And they also had that CSA data that shows the strata is down there. All right. So now I'm fully motivated to help out. So, I joined as their advisor. I don't really have to advise much. We all know what's there. It's not like there's a lot of nitty gritty that has to be done. Everybody knows where to drill. So now they got the money, raised some money back in whenever it was, May or June or something. And then, they're waiting on the permits here, but, I'll tell you, if there's a big fish down there, this company, regardless of their share count, this company should do very, very well.
Well, good. I hope it's as successful as your Noble and Irving, put it that way.
All right, we'll do our best.
So what's your drilling plan? When do you see the investor will start see some results?
Yeah, look, if they get the permits in September, like planned, then they should be drilling in October. How many holes they get done before the weather goes to heck, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5. You have to pre-color these, by the way. You have to drill RC and then cortail the bottom. So it's, it's a bit of a technical process, but, they got the money to do it. I'd say late this year, we should start to hopefully see some results of some sort. Maybe the initial holes don't, prove discovery. It usually takes about I don't know, 20, 30 holes to find a discovery.
Yeah.
But, they got the money. So next year they'll pick up drilling when the weather becomes a little better and carry on. And, I'm pretty sure with the money they have in the bank and this project, they'll stir up something.
Oh, great, great. Looking forward to the results, Quinton. I hope, your name is a golden name in the mining industry. With so many projects you have become so successful. I hope NuLegacy will be the next legacy of yours.
Me too. This is a fun one.
Okay, great. Thank you, Quinton. I'm here with Quinton Hennigh, the advisor for NuLegacy Gold.